Hi! Within this lecture, we're going to make sure that our Kali Linux has a capability to run Python quickly and smoothly. Okay? Actually, Python comes pre-installed with Kali Linux, but we need an IDE, an integrated development environment, in order to run Python codes and write Python codes efficiently. So I opened the terminal in here and I'm going to ping google.com in order to make sure that I have a valid internet connection. So you have to have an internet connection, and if you just made it to this point in this section, in this course, I believe you know how to connect to the internet with Kali Linux. So what I'm going to do is basically open a Firefox in here. I'm going to Google and find my way through PyCharm IDE. Okay, and I'm going to download it and I'm going to show you how to install it on your Kali Linux. So go to google.com, and in google.com just search for PyCharm, and this is written as PyCharm. Okay, and if you just Google PyCharm download, then you will have these results in here, and the first result is generally this download PyCharm website. And PyCharm is brought us by JetBrains, and maybe you have heard this company before. So if you have worked with Android Studio, then you definitely have heard this before. And I mentioned that we have several ways to run Python codes, write Python codes in our computers. First of all, we have learned about Jupyter Notebooks, then we moved on to Sublime Text, which is a script editor basically, but now this time we're going to download this PyCharm. This is specifically designed for writing Python codes, and this is a professional IDE, and they have two versions. Actually, one is professional, the other one is community. The community one is for free, you have to pay for professional, and it's really okay us to go with community because we're going to have what we need in this version anyway. So I'm going to go with community in here, and I suggest you do that as well. So just click on download in here and it will take you to a web page in which you can find the download link. It will automatically start the download process. You have to say save file and click on OK, and it will just start downloading in your downloads folder, and you can reach downloads folder from here or from file manager. I already downloaded this. In order not to make you wait, I suggest you pause the video and come back once you finish downloading. Then what you have to do is just go to files in here to access the files and folder system and search for downloads, and in here you will see this zipped file. Okay, so all the files are zipped in here, and you can extract and just install it in here or anywhere in your computer. But as we discussed before, I suggest to move this to opt directory, where we just install the optional files and folders. So I'm going to find the opt and paste this file in here. Then I'm going to just unzip this file to here. Okay, so right click it and you can say extract here, and it will extract all the folders and files inside of this file. So once you get this, you can get rid of this zipped file. Okay, so you can just right click on it and say to move to trash once you see this notification in here. And now we're ready to go and install our files. If you double click on it, you will see some folders and files that are necessary to install and run PyCharm on your Kali Linux. And in here we have a txt file in which we can find the instructions for installing the PyCharm. But I'm not going over this because I'm going to show you how to install this anyway, but you can just have a look at it if you want. And we have to do this through terminal, so I'm going to move it to below here. I'm going to open a terminal. First of all, let me zoom in a little bit so we can see it better. Now I have to find this directory below, so I'm going to opt, and I think we are in root, so we are in home, so I have to say cd ... Okay, so if I run pwd, I will see we are in root. So now if I do this, now I'm nowhere, so I can reach the opt. Okay, so if I do ls, I will see the opt in here. Now I have to change directory to opt, in which I will find my PyCharm directory. So if I do ls, now I see my PyCharm community in here, and let's do cd PyCharm and hit tab. It will autocomplete for me. So now I have access to these files and folders in here. Okay, so what we want to find is this setup.sh, and it's generally located in here, but maybe you have to just look for it if they change the version. But generally you will find this sh, and if you cannot find it, you can just read this installation guide in here, and you can search for the file and folder that you need, but we see it in here. So all I have to do is change directory to here and then run this pycharm.sh to complete the installation. So I'm going to say cd bin. Now if I say ls, I will see pycharm.sh. So now I have to run this bash file. And remember, we can do /, and after that, without any space, I have to say pycharm.sh. And if I hit enter, it will run this file for me. And as you can see, it asks for importing the pre-existing things in my computer. I will say do not import. Maybe I have a pre-existing version of PyCharm in my computer, so I'm going to do this from scratch. So I will say do not import, and it will open this installation wizard for me. So let's make this minimal, and in here say that I confirm this, and just go along with the process. And as you can see, it asks for data sharing. I'm not going to send and share my data in here. So it asks for a theme, whether black or white. Just choose whatever you want. Programs generally choose the black one. Okay. So it asks for if we want to create a launcher script. I don't need this right now. I don't have to have a launcher script. Okay, so I'm going to click on next. Then it asks for if we want to download any featured plugins. No, I don't want, so I will just say start using PyCharm. And we have to start the PyCharm as we did in here from the terminal with running pycharm.sh, but it's not going to ask us this information every time. Rather, we will see this dashboard in here where we can create a new project. Okay, so I'm hitting create new project, and it asks for where we can save this file. Okay, it suggests that we create a PyCharm projects folder in here, and it sounds good. To be more structured, now I will say hello world as a project name. So this is our first software in actually PyCharm, so I'm going to create a hello world project. Later on we will create our own Mac Changer project as well. So actually it will take some time for PyCharm to create all folders and files in order to create our project. So I'm going to just unclick this show tips on startup. We don't need any tips from PyCharm at this point. And now actually we are ready. So our first project is created, but I think there are still processes running, and we can see it down below. And once it's finished, now we don't see any processes running, and I think we are completely ready to create our first file and start coding. So let me make this into a full screen PyCharm project window. Now we see a left pane in which we can see the files and folders of our project. So we see the main folder in here, and below it we have some pre-created folders. And we will create our Python files inside this folder. Then we can just reach it through this left pane. And you see there are some menu items here like run, and where we can run this code, or we have some file menu in which we can access the settings. For instance, okay, if you click on settings, it will pop open this window where we can reach and change the theme and every other feature and property of our PyCharm IDE. So maybe you can just search for any settings in here like font. So you can just change the font size, okay? Like if you go here to font, you will see that we now have a size of 12. Maybe we want to increase it later on. So we don't have anything right now. We don't have any file in our project. First, we have to create that file in order to run Python code. So I'm right-clicking on my folder and saying new and Python file. So this will create a Python file for me. I'm doing it again, right-click, new, Python file, okay? So there are other options as well, but I'm going to go with the Python file. And as name, you can select whatever you want, but I'm going to call it helloworld.py. So if you say OK, it will create your py file inside your Hello World folder. So we can have more than one file. So you can just print Hello World in here, and as you can see, our font is actually very small, really, and I believe we have to make it bigger. So go to File and Settings once more. And we have to do it all over again. We have to go to font, and now we have size of 12. Now let's make it 24 or something. Yeah, I think it's better. We can even make it like 26 or 28 and apply. I think it's much better. Let's do it 30, and once and for all end this process. So we can see it clearly now. If I go to run and run this, you have to select whatever you want to run. So I'm going to select Hello World, and it will compile and run my code for me and display the output down below here in the run section. But as you know, we don't always use this. Rather, we prefer saving this and then going to let's find save all, yes, and going to terminal and run this from the terminal here. So PyCharm is now running. If I click on terminal, I have this running terminal in here, so I have to create a new terminal. I cannot close this because PyCharm will close as well. So right click here and say new window, and it will open a new window for you, but it didn't open. So let me try this way. Let's go to terminal right above here and say new window. Yeah, I got it this time. So let's minimize this and zoom in here. Now we are inside our PyCharm. Let's go to cd dot dot cd dot dot. Actually, we have to do it one more time because I'm going to find my PyCharm projects folder, and we actually created it inside this root folder. If you do ls, you will see PyCharm projects folder in here. So let's go to PyCharm projects, okay, cd into it, and now if you do ls, or let me clear first, if you do ls, you will see the hello world folder in here. So let's go into that and find our py file in here. If I just say python hello world.py, it will run this code and just show me the output. So now you know how to work with PyCharm, right? We can write Python codes, we can run Python codes in Kali Linux as well at this point. So we better stop right now, and within the next lecture we're going to create our first make changer software with this PyCharm IDE.